Baby, if anyone touches you again, he will regret it for the rest of his life. I need you to hear me now, not as the man I once was, but as the man I became the moment I realized how sacred your presence was in my life. The moment I understood that love like yours wasn't meant to be shared, compared, or tested. It was meant to be protected, guarded, revered like the divine force it has always been in my chest. I say this not out of jealousy, but out of reverence, because when I touched your hand for the first time, I felt something ancient awaken in me, something holy, and ever since that moment, I have not been able to watch another's soul stand too close to you without my breath catching, my fists tightening, my chest burning with a fire I can't explain. Not because I'm possessive in the way the world understands, but because you are not just a woman to me. You're not someone to get over. You're not someone people get to pass by and forget. You are a sacred echo that lives in my bones. And if someone ever touches you again with intentions that are not pure, with hands that do not tremble at your softness, with hearts that do not bow before your light, I swear, baby, even the universe will rise to stop them, because some energies are too divine to be handled by the unprepared. I carry you like breath now, silently, constantly, without needing permission. And when I see the thought of someone else near you, smiling at you, placing their hand where my prayers used to rest, it doesn't just hurt, it fractures something sacred inside me, because no one will ever understand what your energy feels like until they've tasted the silence you leave behind when you're gone. They don't know the way your soul speaks and glances, the way you love, not loudly, not performatively, but in ways that reshape the entire blueprint of a man's heart. They don't know how you move, like poetry disguised as a person. And baby, if he ever touches you again, I promise I won't scream, I won't fight. I will simply look at him with the silence of a man who has already seen the future and knows that no one else will ever be able to carry what I once held. Because the truth is, you're not someone a man dates. You're someone a soul prepares for across lifetimes. You're not a chapter in a love story. You're the whole scripture. And baby, when I lost you, it wasn't just the end of a relationship. It was the closing of a temple that once kept my spirit safe. Now when people ask me why I flinch at love, why I grow quiet when the topic of soulmates comes up, I just look at them. Because how do I explain you? How do I make them understand that the person I lost wasn't just someone I loved? She was the woman the stars whispered about before I was even born. And now I watch you from a distance. I watch how the world looks at you, like you're beautiful, and they're not wrong. But they don't know the real reason you're unforgettable. It's not your face. It's not your voice. It's your frequency. It's the way your spirit fills a room, rewrites the air, changes the temperature of a man's soul. Baby, they can look, they can smile, they can even get close. But the moment someone tries to replace what we had with something shallow, that's the moment, I promise, even their own heart will betray them. Because your touch, it isn't just skin, it's scripture. And your energy, it isn't just feminine. It's fire, soft fire, that heals, but burns those who aren't pure enough to hold it. Sometimes I imagine the moment that someone walks up to you, tries to speak the language of affection, tries to touch your arm, your waist, your back, and in that split second, you close your eyes, not in desire, but in remembrance of a voice that once said, "You're mine," and you were never meant to be touched by careless hands again. And baby, I know the world would call this dramatic, but the truth is, I don't care how it sounds anymore, because when you've loved something divine, you don't stand by and let the unworthy lay hands on it. You don't pretend to be okay while watching sacred ground be walked on like it's just earth. You were never just a girl. You were a soul-wrapped prayer, and I'll spend the rest of my life making sure the universe knows. If she's ever touched again by someone who doesn't see her, they won't just regret it. They'll break under the weight of a love they could never hold. And maybe he'll smile at you. Maybe he'll think your laughter is just another sound, your glance just another gaze, your softness just another charm, to be admired like a flower in bloom. But what he'll never know, what he could never understand, is that your soul is not something you approach casually. You don't just walk up to a sacred flame and expect to hold it barehanded. You'll never know that your silence has dimensions, that your sigh carries stories, that your stillness is not emptiness, but the echo of galaxies moving gently beneath your ribs. Baby, I need you to know something. The way I look at you, the way I feel you, it's not obsession. It's not possessiveness. It's sacred memory. It's soul recognition. And no matter how far time pulls us apart, no matter how many lives pass before our next breath is shared, I will never stop protecting your energy, even in silence, even from a distance, because you are not someone I can unsee. I have known your soul long before this life, and I'll know it long after. You live inside me like a rhythm I didn't ask for, but now can't live without. And if another man ever gets close enough to touch you, to think he's earned the right to call you his, I hope the universe stops him. I hope he pauses. I hope something in his chest stings, as if your spirit itself is saying, "Tread carefully, I belong to more than just this moment." Because baby, you don't belong to the moment, you belong to eternity. You belong to the sky and the storm and the silence between heartbeats where souls meet. You are too much light for the unready, too much truth for the shallow, too much softness for the careless. I don't just miss you. I revere you. I speak your name under my breath like a spell I don't deserve to cast. And sometimes when I see your photo or hear your voice in some unexpected corner of my day, I freeze. Not because I'm broken, but because I'm remembering what wholeness once felt like. You see, they all think it's over. They think I moved on. They think I forgot. But how do you forget the sound of the one person who made silence feel holy? How do you forget the way your spirit softened mine without even trying? How do you forget the way my soul stood up straighter when you were near? You never just touched my body. You restructured my entire energetic being. You rearranged my gravity. And baby, when I say no one else will ever be allowed to touch you again, I don't mean it from control.